So, off to the Philippines for you.
So, well, hello, good evening and welcome. Feedback. Hello, good evening and welcome from, I'm in Norwich, Abby's not, so we're trying this new way of working, and why is this feeding back? Is that a better annoying feedback? So, apologies for that. So, welcome to all of you to this quiz tonight. Coming to you live from Norwich and London. I'm getting a bit of feedback. Welcome to this quiz number 9. Numbers are picking up, so hopefully you've all had a good evening and you're looking for this quiz number 9 in this series. So we've said it will keep going for as long as you want us to keep going, so I'm very happy to do that. I'm going to get on with the quiz after I just run through a few points once I've solved this feedback issue. So those of you who hopefully know the new format now know that this is a 3-round quiz, 2 20-question rounds, and then two 20-question rounds, and then an iconic aircraft run in the middle, and there was a clue. Thank you, Brandon. This is the wonders of technology of trying to do a split site operation. So I'm just going to just hang on 1 second. Is that any better? Is that better? Is that better? Sound check. Testing 1 2 3. That might be better. Yeah, I'm going to carry on like that. So I think that was me. So welcome to the quiz, and we've got 3 rounds tonight. 1 round of 20s to start off with, 2nd round of iconic, and then the 3rd one, another 20 questions. So without further ado, if you're ready, and thanks again to James Mallon, who's provided a lot of photos for this evening, and Big Jet TV for the opening sequence of the iconic aircraft. Don't know when we'll next see an A380 flying like that, but no, thank you for the feedback. I have my volume on my computer turned up a bit too loud. I don't have Abby here to keep me company and to keep me safe and sound. So anyway, welcome to this quiz, and we'll go straight on into the questions. So round 1. So need to have a piece of paper ready, 20 questions, general knowledge, all of the different aspects mixed together. So question 1, round 1. What is the name of the French aerobatic display team? The French aerobatic display team. And you get a bonus if you can name the aircraft type. So the French aerobatic display team, and a bonus if you know the aircraft type. The music has now gone very quiet in the background. So that's round 1, question 1. Round 1, question 2. Can you name this airline? Familiar to many of you, but can you name the airline, this tail? Another fabulous James Mellon photograph. So thanks to the wonder of Zoom, we have Abby in London tonight, and we have me in Norwich, and you get to see all of us at the same time, somehow. So welcome to this new way of doing it, post-lockdown. So that's round 1, question 2. Round 1, question 3. When applied to airlines, what's the term ASK mean? So in airline terms, what does the term ASK mean? Not ask. It means, it's an acronym, it means something. I think last week we had RPK, so this is ASK when applied to airlines. Hope you're all well, hope you're all enjoying some sort of freedom and renewed access to shops, or whatever you're doing at the moment. Those back at work, glad you're back at work. and yeah, getting back to some sort of normality. Hopefully flying all again soon. So that's round 1, question 3. Round 1, question 4. Can you name this aircraft type? Has various designations. And anyway, the aircraft type. Round 1, question 4. Another James Mellon. Fantastic photograph. Wouldn't you all like one of these as your personal aircraft? Maybe a bit big. Not sure what you do with all that space. So, iconic aircraft of week before last, I think this aircraft was. So that's round 1, question 4. Round 1, question 5. The B-2 flying wing stealth bomber has a name, as well as being called the B-2. The B-2 flying wing stealth bomber has a name. What is it? So that's round 1, question 5. I hope you can all hear the music. I can't very easily tonight. So there's suddenly got a bit more sensitive on the microphone tonight. Good evening, everyone. Avianca 757 in Colombia, Bahrain. So not sure what other locations we have tonight. So welcome to all of you anyway. So that's round 1, question 5. Round 1, question 6. Retro liveries. We quite like a bit of retro livery. So can you name this retro livery? Abby's trying the virtual backgrounds, as you've probably spotted. I think you're facing the wrong way, Abby. Potentially not a good way to face. But anyway, name the flight deck that Abby's not sitting in. Extra bonus point. Yeah, Abby's facing the wrong way, yeah. Teesside, welcome to Teesside. Glad to see we've got the UK covered as well. Abu Dhabi, welcome. I must look up the difference in distance between Colombia to the UK and Abu Dhabi to the UK and other locations. Could be a new quiz question. So that's round 1, question 6. Round 1, question 7. Top Gun, we have to have a Top Gun question. See, Abby's trying to get a bonus point if you can name the background. So in the film Top Gun, what aircraft type carried out the dogfights with the F-14s in the training? So when it was in the training phase in the desert, what were the aircraft that were carrying out the dogfights with the F-14s in training? So round 1, question 7. The inevitable Top Gun question. You'd think we'd have been through all of the Top Gun questions by now, but no, we haven't. So Abby will probably cycle through a different background just to keep you guessing every few seconds. Challenge Abby. So that's round 1, question 7. Round 1, question 8. So the UK is the number 1 in Europe and the number 2 in the world in aerospace in terms of value, i.e. value generated. Is that true or false? Number 1 in Europe and number 2 in the world in aerospace. So that's in terms of value. Is that true or false as a statement? COVID flight from Auckland to Bogota yesterday. Well, that was a long flight. What was that? Avianca 757. What aircraft type was that? So that's round 1, question 8. Just keeping on the theme here. Anyone guessed Abby's aircraft yet? Background. Round 1, question 9. So a CAA survey, interesting survey, on the 11th of March 2020. What were the top 5 UK airports in terms of the number of passengers carried? So on that day, the top 5 UK airports in terms of number of passengers. Etihad 773, no? Very good. Abu Dhabi to Bogota. That's round 1, question 9. Is Abby going to change the background? Don't know if Abby's going to change the background. We'll find out. Will the aircraft take off? Round 1, question 10. Can you name the person who designed the Vickers Wellington and it holds a particular record? can you tell me what record that is? So that's the first bonus point, or second bonus point for this round. Who designed the Vickers Wellington, and what record does it hold? Round 1, question 10. Halfway through the first round already. Good set of numbers. Thanks for all tuning in, continuing to tune in. As we've said before, we'll continue to do this as long as you want us to do it. And we know that I think last week over 100 or between 100 and 200 people watched the video after it was recorded, but at a time more convenient. So very happy to do that, and very happy to keep doing this as long as you want it to carry on and as long as the numbers hold up. So round 1, question 10. Round 1, question 11. What's the total number of rotor blades, including the main and tail rotor, on a Wildcat helicopter? What's the total number of rotor blades, main and tail rotor, on a Wildcat helicopter? Anyone Googled? Just need to answer this message. It's nice to see a few more people on, if you go onto Flight Radar now, a few more, or others are available. But it's nice to see all the people on there now. So round 1, question 12. Can you name this aircraft type? I'm not sure you get a bonus point for knowing the Air Force, but anyway, name the aircraft type. Abby's on the... You shouldn't be drinking on the flight deck, Abby. Unless that's Iron Brew or something, Abby. Is that Iron Brew, Abby? Is that Iron Brew you're drinking on the flight deck? Have you changed the... So is that a different aircraft? Oh, I can't hear Abby now. You can unmute yourself, Abby. So anyway, round 1, question 12. Name the aircraft type. Round 1, question 13. In 2020, so this year, it's the 100th anniversary of what significant air traffic control feature? So 2020 is the 100th anniversary of what significant air traffic control feature? Actually just passed the date, I think. I think it was back in March, but this year things seem to blur into different things. So anyway, 2020 sees the 100th anniversary of what significant air traffic control feature? New aircraft of... Oh, you can recognise that one. Ah. Is Abby going to keep changing the picture though? That's very good. Is that... yeah, so you can guess Avianca 757, you seem to know what that one is this time. Did you know what the previous one was? So round 1, question 13. Round 1, question 14. Who retires from the post of Commandant of the Air Cadets in the UK on July the 15th? Probably one of, hopefully, the most famous people to Air Cadets in the UK. Probably one of the best commandants that there's been in of the Air Cadets. Provocative statement. But anyway, who retires from the post of Commandant Air Cadets on July the 15th? So nearly at the end of round 1. Bet you're all hopefully waiting for the iconic aircraft round. Abby's favourite aircraft. Round 1, question 15. This is a special livery. Thank you again to James, who has quite a good collection of special liveries. Can you name this special livery? We have Joseph on tonight, Slider. So round 1, question 15, can you name the special livery? Different one, different photo. Abby's doing her own quiz in the background of flight deck shots. Round 1, question 16. So Willie Walsh is due to leave the role as the boss chief executive of International Airlines Group, which of course includes British Airways, Aer Lingus, Iberia, Vueling, etc. Who is due to succeed him as the boss of IAG? So that's round 1, question 16. If you need any of the questions asked again, by the way, or mentioned again, let me know in the comments. Oh, hi Joseph. Don't worry, we can go back and quickly whiz through the questions if you like, or you can just do the rest on catch up later. But condolences to your colleagues for the sad death of the F-15 pilot this week. So very sad yesterday. Yeah, Abby's under the flight path. I don't know if you can hear her. I don't know if you can hear her at all, actually. I think she's mute. Round 1, question 17. Can you name this aircraft type? Joseph, we'll quickly go back at the end of this round to whiz through the questions you've missed. So if you let me know which one in the comments that you came in at, we'll quickly whiz back so you don't miss the bunch of points. So that's round 1, question 17. Round 1, question 18. Concorde had trailing edge wing devices that controlled pitch and roll. What were they called? Other aircraft also had them, but this is particularly about Concorde. Concorde had trailing edge wing devices that controlled pitch and roll. What were they called? Okay, we'll go back and do the first 7 in a sec. Round 1, question 19. What civil aircraft type does the USAF Boeing VC-25A equate to? So what civil type does the USAF Boeing VC-25A equate to? Hopefully getting a good blend of military and civil questions. I don't know if there's something wrong with the internet today, but it says dropped frames detected, so if you're getting any interference, apologies, that's Sky Broadband for you. And then round 1, question 20, last one in round 1. Can you name the aircraft type? Round 1, question 20, can you name this aircraft type? I'll leave that up there for a few minutes. Abby's mute. Abby can unmute herself, but I don't know where that'll come. I think we'll keep her on mute, Avianca757. She can do sign language. So that's name the aircraft type, round 1, question 20. We'll just quickly go back to the first 7 questions, if we can. So round 1, question 1. Name of the French aerobatic display team, and the bonus if you know the aircraft type. Round 2 was name the airline. Sorry, there are not many military questions, Joseph. Round 1, question 3 was when applied to airlines, what does the term ASK mean as an acronym? Round 1, question 4 was name the aircraft type. Round 1, question 5, what's the name of the B-2 Flying Wing stealth bomber? So the name that it has, as well as its designation. Number 6, the retro livery. And 7 was in the film Top Gun, what aircraft type carried out the dogfights with the F-14s in training? So hopefully you've picked up anyone who's missed the questions if you joined slightly late. So we'll just... too far. So So we'll go to round one answers if you're ready to mark yours or other people's questions. Abby's got no flight deck in the background now, so round one answers. Patrie de France is the name of the French aerobatic display team, and it's the Alpha Jet. Last time I looked. That's round one, question one. Round one, question two is China Airlines. Round one, question three, available seat kilometres. Lots of those available at the moment. Oh yes, the patch of cloud. It's that famous patch of cloud behind Abby. Static patch of cloud. Round one, question four. This is a Boeing BBJ. So, is it the Sultan of Brunei? I don't actually know whose this is, but James will probably know. Felt tip. Wow, crayon to felt tip. Is that your own, or did you borrow that one, Matthew Senior? So this is a Boeing 747-8 or a BBJ or some combination. Nice aircraft. We'd all like to have one of those in the garage. Round one, question five is the Spirit, the B-2 Spirit. There's a bit of aerobatic activity in this room. There's a fly buzzing around. Round one, question six was THY or Turkish. Turk Yalari? I don't know what it stands for, but still borrowed. We get to quiz 10. Maybe you can treat yourself to a new pen. Brunei 747. Thank you, James. We'd all like one of those in the garage. Must be Terminal 5 A and B. Round one, question seven. A4 Skyhawks has flown by Viper and who's the other one? Viper. We had a question that was a question in previous rounds. Round one, question 8. I can't remember. Was true. So the UK is number 1 in Europe and the number 2 in the world. So behind the US, the UK is the number 2 in the world for aerospace in terms of value of business generated. Was a great statistic. Round one, question 9. So the top 5 on the 11th of March, if you can remember back as far as, thank you Chester and Viper. If you remember 11th of March, top 5 airports in number of passengers were Heathrow, Gatwick, Manchester, Stansted and Luton. So actually you can award yourself a bonus point for each of those since we're feeling generous tonight. But I think if you went to various dates, I did actually see that one of the helicopter operators in the North Sea on one day during the lockdown was actually Europe's biggest operator for at least one day. So I'm sure if you go through the stats, you'll find some interesting stats during lockdown. Round one, question 10, Barnes-Wallis, of course, and the record, I didn't know this until I looked it up, but it's still a record apparently for a British multi-engined aircraft that there were a total of 11,460 Wellingtons produced. So still holds a record apparently. Barnes-Wallis, he had the bouncing bomb and all sorts of supersonic aircraft, and I don't think we've got Justin from Brooklands on tonight, but lots of Barnes-Wallis stuff at Brooklands. Round one, question 11, so 8 rotor blades in total. Round one, question 12 is a Mirage 2000. I think it might be French Air Force, but that wasn't a question. Round one, question 13, the first air traffic control tower in Croydon was the 100th anniversary of the world's first air traffic control tower in Croydon, just south of London. Round one, question 14, Dawn McCafferty, Commodore Dawn McCafferty is due to retire on July the 15th. Round one, question 15, this is Tintin, or Tantan, I think, to the locals. I think this is a Brussels Airlines A320 at a guess, I think. Thanks, James. Round one, question 16, Luis Gallego, who I believe was the boss of Iberia, is taking over the helm. I think it was going to be earlier this year, but it's now been delayed to the autumn. Round one, question 17, a C-130 Hercules, of course, very distinctive. Round 1, question 18. Elevons. I think other aircraft I did read up had elevons, but some military aircraft, but Concorde. Was it the only civil aircraft to have elevons? Don't know. Round 1, question 19. Equates to VC-25, equates to 747. And the last question in round 1, question 20. This is the Embraer E190E2 with that fabulous. Was it Profit Hunter livery? I can't remember now what it was, but it's anyway, nice livery. Every aircraft should have them. So depending on whether you went for the bonus points around the airports on the 11th of March, tot up your scores, and it's either a total I think of 22 or actually 26, depending on which ones you go for. But anyway, it's all for fun, and we'll just pause here before we get onto the iconic aircraft round to see if you need to top up any bits of paper, top up that felt tip pen, borrow another crayon, some combination. I hope you noticed, of course, in the photograph that you should be on all of your screens that Abby's in the middle and I'm at the bottom, so I've been relegated. In fact, I suppose I'm in small, just above Abby's head, so we weren't sure this was going to work tonight, so thanks for those of you who listened to the first bit of squealing at the start, a bit of feedback, but this seems to work okay. So we'll go on to other bonus points for Profit Hunter. Yes, of course. I hope he doesn't think it's Profit Hunter. Brandon says it is Profit Hunter. Abby's Googling it, so she's allowed. Well, you're all allowed anyway. Right, so that's the end of round 1, so tot up your scores, and we'll go on to the iconic aircraft round. So the iconic aircraft, if you'd missed the start, is the A380. So we've been trying to go... Oh, thank you. So we've been trying to go civil military, and we thought we'd mark the Airbus A320 in case it doesn't fly again. Oh, they're all Profit Hunter, thank you. And you've had at least, what, half an hour to knowing it was the A380. So we'll run through 5 Shark, Eagle, Lion, robot thing. So we'll go through 5 questions on the Airbus A380, and then we'll run through the answers at the end of round 3. So round 2, question 1, in what year did the original A380 fly? So the first A380, what year did it fly? So second question, apart from the 747, what other double-deck design was the A380 designed to compete with? You may not know, but there was another double-deck designed aircraft that was out there in the market at the same time as the A380. Was never produced, but was advertised. Number 3, which countries are involved in producing the major structural components? I think the last set of wings have been produced now from Broughton, so that gives you a clue. You probably all knew that, but there are others involved. I think there's due to, depending on whether that changes, the last one will roll off the line in 2021. How many aircraft were built? Question 4, for demonstration and testing purposes. So the testing fleet, demonstration and testing fleet, how many were produced? Well, the flying circuit board, yeah, I saw that one. You don't have a picture of that one in your collection, I didn't think, James. But and then last question, question 5 of this round. How many A380s have been delivered as of February 2020? I'm not sure how many more will be delivered anyway, so this might be the final number. And you mainly think the nearest 10 is a bit tight, but that's bearing in mind they're around $440 million each. That's still a big chunk of money. So we'll go for the nearest 10. How many A380s have been delivered as of February this year? Not enough, Abby says. That's not an answer, unfortunately. It has to be a bit more specific than that. Oh, Profit Hunter, there we are. Thank you. If you pay Abby enough, she'll actually show you the answers, the answer photographs in the background to all the questions. So they're the 5 questions. Well, we can always come back towards the end if you're not sure about those. But we will go on to round 3. So the next set of, or the last set of 20 questions. Not enough. Ah, yes. What's enough? Would it be an iconic aircraft if they carried on producing it? Right, so round 3, question 1. Can you name this aircraft type? Nice livery, but that's not the question. Can you name the aircraft type? Nice colourful aircraft. Venue arms, so it must be a wine festival, I would think. Round 3, question 2. What Red Arrow's manoeuvre is named after a lunar mission? We might do a space round. Abby's in fact done a space round. We might feed that in over the next week. But round 3, question 2. This is a hint. So what Red Arrow's manoeuvre is named after a lunar mission? Hopefully those who watched another Falcon 9 launch this week enjoyed it. Space seems to be getting a lot more coverage now, which is nice. That's round 3, question 2. Round 3, question 3. What's the name of the main transport base that the US Air Force use in Germany? The name of the main transport base that the US Air Force use in Germany. So round 3, question 4. What's this aircraft type? Sorry to any flybeers out there, but striking livery on this aircraft type. Round 3, question 5. Now, a bit of a longish question, but interesting. Hopefully you think an interesting question. So this is about a person. You need to name the person. So after spending his days as a barnstormer, he eventually became a mail pilot, and encountering the widespread lack of navigational aids along his routes, made a habit of jotting down geographical landmarks, elevations, and other data in a 10-cent notebook as he flew. In no time, his inventory of navigational information was in high demand. Who was that person? I won't read it again, but I'm sure you can read it for yourself. But a name the person story. As you probably tell by now, I like the people side of aviation as well, so try and balance the aircraft with the people. Bit of a campaign going on at the moment in the UK to name famous people behind lots of projects, famous aircraft, etc., to bring the people back as opposed to just the machine. So that's round 3, question 5. Round 3, question 6. New Orleans Airport is named after somebody. Who is it? Can't do the accent, I'm afraid. Abby can do the accent, but I can't. But she's muted, so she can't. Need to change your background, Abby. Too much Embraer. Round 3, question 7. What is this aircraft type? Interesting livery. What is this aircraft type? Thank you for the positive feedback this week on the quiz, by the way. So we had some nice comments back. Thank you, saying that you enjoyed it. So we enjoy doing it as long as you enjoy doing it. So keep the comments going. It's good to get the feedback. Oh, what a surprise. So round 3, question 8. Olive, Anne and Walter Beach were famous for what? Olive, Anne and Walter Beach were famous for what? I'm sure you're all dying to know if that was Abby taking off in that aircraft. Round 3, question 9. Question for you. So how many main runways are there at Atlanta Hartsfield? So I think last week or the week before, we determined that it was the busiest airport last year. And a bonus point if you know which airport has the most runways, according to every source I could verify. As you know, sometimes the sources I verify don't always come up with the right answer, but according to the sources I verified. There's another interesting flight deck. This is another parallel quiz that Abby's got going on in the background. You can, if you know what that is, you can put that in the comments. So, main runways at Hartsfield, and which airport has the most runways? I did nearly put the world's longest runway in here, but I couldn't verify that. Round 3, question 10. Can you name this aircraft type? I believe that Walt Disney had one, but round 3, question 10. Avianca 757 has guessed. Is that a bonus point? Bonus point, I think. Abby will post in the question of aviation. You can post whether you award bonus points for that answer. I'm not allowed to be in control of a question of aviation, so that's Abby who's posting that. In case you wonder who's behind the yellow box. Round 3, question 11. Which former US president is Houston Airport named after? We thought we'd have a few US questions just to keep the balance going. Houston Airport is named after which US president? The main Houston Airport. I knew Abby would find a new way of awarding unofficial bonus points, you see, so it's become a new quiz, parallel quiz. Round 3, question 12. Can you name this aircraft type? Was one of the original types to be able to fly into London City. That's a very garish flight deck. I'm not sure you're allowed to show that one on live YouTube Live, Abby, because I think it's copyrighted. Name the aircraft type, round 3, question 12. Round 3, question 13. What famous footballer is Belfast Airport named after? Thanks to the copyright provider for the use of that photograph for this quiz, hope you don't mind. What famous footballer is Belfast Airport named after? Is that right? Avianca 757, you're going to get all the bonus points at this rate. You'll be roaring ahead. Round 3, question 14 in the main quiz, as opposed to the sideline quiz. Name the airline livery. What airline livery is this? I think you know what airport this is, but name the airline livery. Not so subtle blanking out that I did there. Hope you don't mind, James, just to avoid too many clues. So we're 3/4 of the way through the whole quiz. Time flies when you're enjoying yourself. And the numbers are holding up. It's a nice day today, so hopefully a number of people will look at this after the quiz is finished. Hope you're all enjoying it, and we'll carry on as long as you want it to. Round 3, question 15. Which US airport has the longest runway? I did say about the world's longest runway earlier, but I thought this was a bit safer. Which US airport has the longest runway? I think we know that one. One flew over last night. Round 3, question 15 that was, in the main quiz. Round 3, question 16. With which aircraft is Sir Sidney Cam most associated? Another people question. Sir Sidney Cam is most associated with a particular aircraft type. Round 3, question 15. Oh, sorry, I've gone backwards. Round 17. What is the term derived from French for the aircraft's tail, which is made up of a rudder, a fin, and a stabilizer? Is that another bonus point, Abby? I think it probably is. Bearing in mind that the configuration of the aircraft is shown on the screens. A couple of whopping big clues there, maybe. Looks too straightforward to fly, really. So what's the term derived from French for the aircraft's tail? Round 3, question 18. Name this aircraft type. Not sure whether Lucy's on tonight, but this might be an aircraft that she likes. Round 3, question 18. Have to look carefully. Although I'm not sure whether you tell from the outside which one it was. So name the aircraft type. Ab is exhibiting another alternative flight deck on the back screen. Who's going to guess that one? Round 3, question 19. ATIS. ATIS. What does it stand for? Obviously, it's a continuous broadcast of recorded aeronautical information in busy terminal areas, as you know from the definition. But what does it stand for? And can you believe the last question of this new streamlined quiz, round 3, question 20, name the airline. Interestingly, James, you sent me some new photographs, thank you, this week, including another one of this as well, but I'd already put this one in the quiz. How bizarre is that? But name the airline. So that is round 3, question 20, the end of all the questions. Does anyone want any of the questions read again? Joseph. Abby, is that right? Bonus point for Joseph. You're going to post the answer? I think Abby's adjudicating at the moment. She's trying to work out if it's the right answer. It isn't. Ah. And we have to leave it a bit longer then. Anyone guesses? Any more guesses? Is it British? Is it British or American? Can you tell? So, any more guesses for the photograph? Well, I'll leave that open while we go through the answers then, until somebody guesses what that is, and Abby can decide whether that's another bonus point. So round 2 answers we'll go through. Round 2, the Airbus A380, so 2005 or 2005, whichever way you prefer, the original A380 flew. McDonnell Douglas MD-12 Eurofighter Typhoon. Is that right, Abby? So MD-12, if you look up the MD-12, I was going to put a photograph on here, but we couldn't do that from a copyright point of view. McDonnell Douglas planned a double-decker aircraft called the MD-12. Number 3, it's France, Germany, Spain and UK, the 4 countries involved in producing major structural components for the A380. 5 aircraft were built for demonstration and testing purposes, and 242 were delivered as of February 2020. So if you got within 10 of that, then consider yourself an expert. So out of 5, I suppose we could consider giving bonus points for the France, Germany, Spain, UK. Abby's put another one up. I think I know that one, but anyway, I'll leave that to see who else knows that one. Oh, well done, Brandon, that's pretty close. 3 out of 5, including the MD12, well done. How many points for question 3? Yeah, oh, so we'll feel generous, so 1 point for each country. So that's the round 2 out of, in fact, so we're going to make that 8. And then round 3 answers. This is, of course, the Airbus A220. Quite distinctive shape. The Apollo roll, which I think is the second manoeuvre in the 2019 season. I think that's the where it's in the shape of the is it Saturn rocket or the capsule, one of the two. So it's the Apollo roll, not a Swiss roll, linked to the first one. Is it a Harrier? I don't think it is. I think it might be something else, but I don't know. Round 3, question 3, Ramstein is the US Air Force base. I think it's the head of US Air Forces in Europe and Africa, and NATO as well. Round 3, question 4 is the Dornier 328, of course. Is it the Harrier, Abby? You need to answer, Richard. Round 3, question 5, L. Ray Jefferson. So I didn't know this, so it's fascinating. Just browsing the other day, Mr. Jefferson, that's how he started Jefferson. So how many people relied on all of that data, and that's how he put it all together back in the turn of the century, so the turn of the last century. Round 3, question 6, Louis Armstrong is the so that's the name of the New Orleans airport. Round 3, question 7, of course, this is a Tupolev Tu-204. I was involved in the project to put Rolls-Royce engines on this, but I don't know whatever happened to that completely. I think it disappeared, but I think this is the version that had the, was it Kuznetsov or whichever engines it was? Yes, of course. Yeah, Jefferson's closest enough, you don't need to know the first name. Round 3, question 8, Olivan and Walter Beech, of course, founded Beech Aircraft, but did you know that they ran it from 1931, having set it up to 1980, when they sold it to Raytheon? So, husband and wife, I think, in fact, she did a lot of the running of the business, Olivan and Walter Beech. Quite a famous aviation couple. Just shows what you can do if you decide to start an aircraft company. Round 3, question 9. So 5 runways at Atlanta, Hartsfield, and Chicago O'Hare, of course, has 7. Am I allowed to answer, Abby? Am I allowed to answer? I think it's a Tornado. Is that right? So, round 3, question 9. Round 3, question 10 is a Gulfstream 1. I believe Walt Disney had one of these, and that's how he flew around Florida, working out where to put Walt Disney World. It was in Hollywood Studios in Florida, but I don't know what happened to it, but I think his aircraft was there for a while. I don't know where it is now. Round 3, question 11, George Bush Airport, Houston Airport. George Bush Sr., I believe. Round 3, question 12, Dornier 228. Used to be able to fly the 7.5 degree approach into London City when it was that steep. Round 3, question 13, George Best Airport. Rolls-Royce had a G1. With Dart engines? Or, don't know. Round 3, question 14, Vietnam Airlines. I think, is that Queen's Terminal in the background? Queen Elizabeth? Don't know. Round 3, question 14, Vietnam Airlines. Round 3, question 15. So Denver apparently has the US's longest runway, 16,000 feet long, longest commercial runway in North America, one of 6 operational runways, so slightly short of Chicago O'Hare with its 7. Oh, thank you, Scott. Just Carlisle is Lakes, that's a name, doesn't it? Carlisle Airport. Lake District Airport International, don't know. Round 3, question 16. So Sidney Can designed the Hurricane, but also designed the Typhoon and the Tempest, and here's a useless bit of information for you. At one time in the 1930s, 84% of the aircraft in the Royal Air Force were designed by that one person. That just shows you the power of a good designer. Fascinating individual. Oh yeah, that's a good answer. I'm not actually sure. Is that longer but not commercial? Not an airport. Strictly. Round 3, question 17 is of course empennage. Carlisle Lake District, yeah. Not international. Round 3, question 18 is a DC-10-10. I'm not sure externally if you knew the difference if this became an MD-10, but this is a DC-10-10. Round 3, question 19, automatic terminal information service. By the way, I believe the photograph behind Abby is still up for grabs for the bonus point that she's awarding. I think we've been through virtually every aircraft so far. Could it be a Phantom, an F4? Round 3, question 20, Edelweiss. Name the airline, Edelweiss, Swiss operator. Oh, answer question 17, did I miss that? Empennage. Brandon. So that was round 3 complete, and Edelweiss. So I've lost track of how many bonus points we actually ended up awarding in that round. So anyway, please. Oh, we're going through the whole range here on Abby's photograph. Did we guess the photograph? Did you post the answer? So that's the end of the quiz. So please post your scores. It's only for fun, but we're interested to know what you got. It was the F4. Oh, I got a bonus point. Not that it matters, but who wants the bonus point? The Phantom. So end of the quiz. That's number 9. So next week is number 10. So hopefully you're all enjoying it. Hopefully we can carry on. And Abby's got some questions that she's going to pose to bolster up the questions. So we're still finding enough questions to ask these quizzes. If you still enjoy it, we'll continue to do it until the point where the numbers drop off and you all subtly say that, okay, it's time now. So post your scores. 35, good score. 30, Brandon. 39, best quiz so far. Oh, I wonder why that was then. Thank you, Scott. Only 30, that's good. Good score. It's all fun anyway. 32, Jed. Great quiz. Oh, thank you very much. No, we enjoy doing it, but we just worried that sometimes you might think, well, we're going to carry on doing it, but we're very happy to. There's lots more questions we can pose. If you like the new streamlined format, it keeps everyone guessing as to what the questions are. 28, Andy O'Shea. 39 with Richard. Is that a combined score? And as I say, it's always available. It's recorded on YouTube. So apart from quizzes 1, 2 that were because of copyright, we're not allowed to put on again. All the others are still on there as well. So feel free to mention them to any of your friends, colleagues, if they want to do them. All for free, all for fun. 18, James. Yeah, I'm really sorry for you because we keep using your. So 15 for your photos. Yeah. So 33. 40, Connor and Julian, that's very good. No, we enjoy creating it. We just want to make sure that you think the format's right, and this new streamlined format we get through in about an hour, so we don't take up all of your evenings as well. And more than happy if you can't make it on a Tuesday night, you can watch it offline as well and on a recording. So any more scores to post? If not, we will we'll start to sign off and say see you next week. Whose scores have we missed? Anyway, it's all for fun. Thank you to Abby in London. and good night from Norwich. Yeah, I need to think up some more useless information for when we go back out of lockdown. Shout out thanking your partner Darren for putting up with me doing this quiz. I forced him to watch. No, thank you to your partner, and Darren, thank you for being patient. It is an acquired taste, but actually it's great that you like these, and we like asking the questions, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. So the next week is due to be, I believe, quiz 10, June the 23rd, live at 7:30. Take care, keep safe, and we'll see you next week.